Alright, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another late night in the garage. We are getting ready to unbox and install the LASFIT lights. LASFIT, they make little LED lights for your interior. They make switches for the Rubicon to replace your factory switches for your aux switches, and also your locker switches that look factory. So if you bought a Jeep without lockers or without the auxiliary switches, you can order that stuff from them. That looks pretty cool. They have laser cut floor mats that fit perfect in all your rigs. Several, not just Jeeps and trucks, they have it for everything. They have light bars, LED light bars, and 3-inch pod lights, all kinds of products. So if you go over to LASFIT.com, you can check out their products. They were kind enough to contact me and see if I wanted to review their lights. So I'm gonna unbox and review. I went with the 3-inch pod lights from them, and also the 32-inch light bar for the front of the truck. So like I said, go to LASFIT.com, follow the link in the description. Yeah, so I'm gonna unbox these and check them out. They're kind of a mid-range light, price-wise, so I'm kind of excited to see it. It seems like it's a pretty good value. So let's start with the light bar. Looks like a pretty quality piece. It's pretty low profile. I'll see how bright it is. It looks pretty, like it's gonna be pretty good. I'm pretty excited to see how this works. Let's see what else comes in the box. You should have a few different mounting options. I think you get the side mounts. So let's see, you got bottom brackets, and then you've got the side brackets. So we're probably going to use the bottom brackets, I'm thinking, because let's see how this is going to fit across our bar here. Yeah, so we just barely fit across, just long enough to mount this on this bottom bracket. So we're going to be using the bottom brackets. Alright, so your bottom brackets comes with the 2 brackets. Comes with the Allen, so you don't need any special tools, it looks like. A couple rubber mounts. You get 2 bolts, the hex bolts, washers, nuts, lock washers, nuts, and washers for the whole thing. So looks pretty good. Pretty straightforward too. So let me get the mounts mounted on the light and see how that looks. All right, so this took me a minute. So to use the bottom brackets, all right, so this is kind of how it's gonna look. So you got your bolt on the top with your lock washer and washer underneath it, and then you've got this piece right here that goes underneath the bracket. The bracket goes on top of that, and your nut goes in this channel right here. So if you take the nut, you're gonna drop it in the channel. So you can see the nut's dropped in the channel right there. And then on top of that goes this little middle piece like that. That comes in the kit. And then your bracket goes on top of that. I'm gonna put the lock washer on my bolt, and then the washer, and then I'm gonna put the bracket on top, and I'm gonna find that nut, and I'm gonna screw this into that nut. Once it's in the nut, it can slide. You can loosen it a little bit, and you can slide these wherever you need them to be to mount to the bumper. But before you put those on there, you need to run the bolts through that you're going to run through your whatever you're going to mount them on. So since mine's going on a bracket, I need to space out my mounts accordingly, hopefully, and I should be able to space them out where they'll fit on the bracket, if that makes any sense. And then there's some rubber isolators that it comes with. So these rubber isolators, they're like little rubber mats that go on their brackets here. They go between whatever you're mounting it to give it a little bit of cushion. So all that goes on. I'm gonna see how this all fits, and I'll let you guys know how that turns out. But that was a little bit tricky. That took me a minute. So yeah, now that I got it figured out, I'm gonna see if I can mount this light up and get it wired up. All right, so I put the bolt right in that bracket, and it fits right in there perfectly so that it won't turn. And then I put the bracket on and put the bolt in. So now that bolt's in there, it can't come out, and it doesn't turn. So you can just put the nut on. Well, when it's tightened down, it doesn't turn. That's how we do it. Then you put the rubber isolator on, then your washer, lock washer, and nut. Light bar's all installed. It swivels, it can move, so when I tighten everything up, it'll be nice and centered and perfect and pointed. But for now, we're gonna work on wiring. So if you bought the wiring kit that came with LASFIT lights, then you would, with their switches, then you would just run the switch wire from your inside of your truck to the out here and plug it into their cable. But since I have the triggered, I'm gonna use their wiring kit, which means that I'm going to have to splice some wires. The way I'm going to do that, so the triggered kit comes with 6 pre-wired wires that have a connector on them that connects to the triggered system. That wire goes all the way to the light, and then it has your positive and negative. And I have some heat shrink, so I have some heat shrink on it already that I'm going to use. And I'm going to make the connection, and then I'm going to heat shrink it so that it's weather tight. So this is going to run into behind my grill here, and then it's going to run over here and up. In fact, maybe I think I'm going to flip that bar over so that the cable's on the other side, so that it's just a straight shot in. Let me try that real quick. See how this goes. Trial and error, people. Trial and error. So I have the light bar flipped over so that the power cable's on this side now. And I'm going to run it in behind here in my bumper. And it's going to come out right here by the radiator. And I'm going to zip tie it up here and just bring it right up here to the triggered system and hook it into this cable. But in order to do that, I need to cut that connector off and splice in the triggered connector. So then we should be wired up for the light bar. We'll see how it works. Apparently my heat gun is in storage, so we're resorting to using a lighter. So bear with me here. I have solder. My butt connectors have solder in them, so these are a special kind of butt connector that has solder inside of it. So basically, once I heat that up, so this one's been heated up, you can see that the solder has been melted and the connection's solid. So I'm going to do that same thing to here, and then I'm going to slide the heat shrink over the whole thing, and then I'm going to heat shrink it down, so it'll be weatherproof all the way around. So that's how I'm doing it. Alright, so all said and done, here's the connection with the soldered connectors and the heat shrink around those, plus more heat shrink, and connected, and everything's sealed down. That's how I made my connection. I'll get that ran and I'll show you guys how that looks. Alright, so we have the light bar on the truck, and the switch is on, so there you go, that's the light there. In the garage, that's what you get. So I'm gonna hook up the ditch lights, the 3-inch LED pod lights. Let's check those out real quick. I'm just gonna open it up. It kind of feels like you're opening up a iPod or iPhone case. Pretty nice packaging. Here's the out of here real quick. So in the box we have the brackets. For each, looks like, brackets and the lights. Alright, so here's the lights. Looks like a pretty good, decent quality housing. So, 2 lights. There we go. And then it has a box labeled accessories in here. You can see that. So, box. This has all of our mounting hardware. I'll get the brackets mounted on them and then see how I'm gonna hook them up and wire them to the truck. Alright, so we're finished up on the pod lights. So I wired them up actually separate. I haven't pointed them yet. But one, this is the passenger side. I just ran the wire straight across. All the way across. And into the number 3. So number 3. And then the driver's side is connected. And I run it into number 2, just straight down here. Cut a really short cable, run it into number 2. So this is the wiring right here. Pretty simple. I just need one more screw, a little self-tapper to screw, short little self-tapper to screw into there, and it should be good. So we have 1, 2, and 3. I'm just kind of test fitting the hood here, making sure that I don't pinch any cables on the way down, which it looks good. So that looks good. Let's see if I can kind of aim these a little bit, kind of preliminary. See how we're gonna like them. I'm not sure yet how I want them aimed, but it should work off the switch. And the switch is here, so there's 1, 2, and 3. So I guess I could turn the lights off, huh? Let's try that. 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna clean up my mess and then go out and try these out. Alright, so it's dark out here, but I'm gonna do a test on the lights. We'll try the stock lights first, and then we'll try the new lights. So this is daytime running lights. This is headlights and right lights, and then that's the light bar. So both of the headlights on, light bar, and then floodlights. So floodlights need adjusted. That's just the floods. I'm gonna adjust them a little bit.
I'm gonna get blinded.
This is so off. Just the stock headlights. And light bar. Floodlight 1. Floodlight 2. Light bar off. Just the floods. So.
What's up?
Hey, we're just leaving.
What were you guys doing?
Just testing the lights.
Oh, right on. Like, dude, who's shining them lights in my field?
Right yeah, I was just testing the new lights out.
Okay.
Sorry, man. All right. So I got Scott with me. Can't see him though. It's dark outside.
Hello.
We're testing out lights. That's headlights. This is fog lights and headlights. So that's just the stock Ram stuff. And then this is the light bar. Well, let's go with the floodlight. Driver side floodlight, passenger side floodlight, and then light bar. I'm pretty happy. So LASFIT.com, they have the light bars, they have the pod lights. These are floodlights, so you can get spotlights that go further. But I kind of wanted this truck for campground stuff, so if we pull up on a campground, I can light up the campground so we can set up if we're there late at night. And then the light bar for driving down dirt roads. So if we're late coming into camp, it'd be nice to have that light bar out there to shine out to drive in. They seem to be pretty good. I don't have a lot of experience with lights. I haven't put lights on anything really, but for, I don't know, for medium price lights, I think I like them, even though I don't have anything to compare them to. So I'm pretty happy with them. I'll keep you guys updated as I go out and try them out some more. I'll put links down in the description to all the products that I used to install everything on the Ram today. Yeah, look for some more. I wouldn't call it overlanding, like I said in the beginning. More like camping videos. So we'll be trying to head out, do some exploring, taking the kids out. We'll be doing some stuff in Utah that I know of. Probably some stuff in Arizona since we're right next to it. So we're just gonna go out and do some exploring, check things out, and if I need more stuff for the truck, I'll probably put some more things on the truck and build it up. Still gonna do Jeep stuff, so that's not gonna stop. I just didn't want to put a bunch of heavy stuff for camping in the Jeep, so I want to keep it capable for rock crawling. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you out there on the trail. Bye. So you can just turn the lights on from your phone.